A pleasure. What a great thing for us to be together in person to celebrate the start of construction of affordable housing in San Francisco. There is much there is much to learn, much to celebrate, much to understand about the meaning behind the housing here in the story of Fifth and Howard. And to begin that, please join me in welcoming our leader, our mayor, London Breed. Thank you.
I just got comfortable in my seat, Don. Hi, everybody, and welcome. First, let me say happy Women's Equality Day today. That's why I'm wearing pink, to recognize the contributions of women and the need to make sure that we are at the table. We are a part of this amazing economy, and we're seeing more women in industries and places that we deserve to be. I'm mayor. We see all these women who are actively engaged in the construction industry. It's so great to see Lori here from Swinnerton and so many wonderful, amazing women. So happy Women's Equality Day in San Francisco. Speaking of women, women are usually the head of households, the ones taking care of the families, taking care of the husbands, the wives, the children, and everything in between, the moms, the dads. And it is so fitting that we're here today for this groundbreaking. 203 units that will serve families in San Francisco. And one of the things that was so important to me, even before I was mayor, is making sure that we are creating communities that are for people who are a part of these amazing communities. It has a lot to do with my experience of growing up in the Western Addition, where when I lived in public housing, there were 300 units, there were promises made, there was tear down and rebuild, and only a replacement of 200 of those 300 units. So we knew a lot of the people from that community, a lot of the people that I grew up with weren't returning home. That really changed the Western Addition community. And it didn't just happen at Plaza East, it happened in other places across the city. So when I became a member of the San Francisco Redevelopment Agency Commission, one of the things that was most important to me when we were talking about Hope SF, and we were transitioning from the federal HOPE program to one of local public and private partnerships, it was important that as we go in and we talk about rebuilding communities, that we make sure that we allow those communities to participate in the process and really help drive the process. But more importantly, when that housing is done, the people from that community deserve right of first refusal. And what is most inspirational about these 203 units that will be home to 203 families, 40% neighborhood preference of this project for the people in District 6, for the people within 1 square mile of this project. And Rudy, I want you to get all your employees, all your kids who are now grown. I want all of them to apply for this housing. I want to see more applications from United Players than anyone else in the city, because I want to make sure that the community that you help to build, repair, stabilize, that they have a safe, affordable place to call home. Because that's what we should be about in San Francisco when we talk about equity, when we talk about affordability, when we talk about community. We have to make sure that the reason why we're doing this translate to the people who need it the most, because we know that having an affordable place to call home matters. 203 units, over 1,000 labor jobs of people that are working, that are putting their heart and soul into making this project happen. Every nail that's hammered, every pipe that's brought in, how these places are brought together. It comes from a place of love. It comes from a place of knowing there will be families and people here to enjoy it. So I'm always happy to be in not just District 6, but anywhere where we are breaking ground on housing, but in particular affordable housing, because I know what it means. And Don, you and the family at TNDC who do incredible work for our city, you understand the value, because you don't just help to build and create the housing. You help to work with the community. You help to serve the community with services that ensure that they are able to stay housed, that they are stable, because that's what building and maintaining a community is all about. So I want to thank each and every one of you for being here today to break ground on this incredible project. And I am hopeful that it's finished on time and under budget, so I can come back and hand over the first keys with a gift basket to the first family that's moving in, because we're going to see a lot of smiles. Yes, we see smiles today, but there is nothing like seeing those kids walk into their own bedrooms and seeing just their bed made up with Smurf bedding, or I don't know what the characters are that the kids like. We like the Little Mermaid and Smurf and all that kind of stuff back in the day when I was a kid, but I don't know what these kids are going to see today, but it's going to put a smile on their faces. And everybody that is here, that is working on this project, you are contributing to those smiles. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being here for this groundbreaking today. And I'll turn it back over to Don Falk. I was thinking about Ken Falk. Maybe we can get him to come and design every room. You guys know him, right? His stuff is nice.
Thank you, Mayor Breed, especially for reminding us that this is about much more than structures and buildings. It's about community and people and families. Please join me in welcoming to the dais TNDC's Senior Director of Housing Development, Katie Lamont.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Don, and thank you, Mayor Breed. Thank you also to the San Francisco voters who supported the 2019 Affordable Housing Bond, which is paying for this project. I want to thank MoCD, our partner at the Mayor's Office of Housing and Community Development. Eric Shaw is here, and his whole team for their partnership over the years as we explored various iterations and options for what we might do here. I want to thank the Central SOMA Plan planners and advocates for the opportunity to add more housing and to serve a broad spectrum of income levels here. I want to thank SOMA community members like Rudy. TNDC is so pleased to be adding to our presence in the community, and we look forward to partnering to connect residents with this housing. I also want to thank our acquisition and bridge lenders. It takes a lot of people to have faith early on and for a long time. From the Enterprise Community Loan Fund, we have Eve Goldstein here. From the Local Initiative Support Corporation, we have Cindy Wu. We also benefited from the state's Transit-Oriented Affordable Housing Program, or TOA. And finally, from our local Housing Accelerator Fund. I also want to thank Tishman Speyer. At some point, this was considered an inclusionary housing development, and they supported the schematic design and connected us with a really strong design and construction team. And finally, I want to introduce and thank Charmaine Curtis of Curtis Development. She's our amazing development partner who has been with us from the beginning. She pulled out all the stops throughout the years, but especially last year. She and I were hustling, working hard, calling everybody, pulling on all our relationship strings to secure the state funding that brought us to this point in time. Thanks to her efforts, we can finally see that this building will be built, and in 2 years, we will welcome residents to their new homes. So I'd like to introduce Charmaine Curtis.
Good morning, everybody. It is so great to see everybody here. And Katie, thank you so much for those kind words. We have worked so long and worked so hard to get to this moment. And I'm here to tell you how very sweet it is. It took us a minute, but we made it. And it is important that we acknowledge all the work and sweat and love that went into this to bring us to this moment. So getting this project to this point is a testament to perseverance and downright doggedness, largely on the part of Katie and myself, who would never say die. But also we owe a huge debt to the small army of people who performed above and beyond the call of duty to meet some truly insane deadlines over the last year and a half. In the end, after a few false starts, we closed the financing and got this project under construction at lightning speed and in record time for San Francisco, and we are so proud of that. I'm really proud of that and the team that helped get us here, so thank everybody who was a part of it. Affordable housing development has been and will always be a big part of my life's work because, for one thing, I believe in the transformative power of a stable, safe, affordable roof over your head, the power of that to transform people's lives, and without it, you cannot be a stable person living in one of the most expensive cities in the world. I believe with all my heart that housing is a human right and that we have got to change our housing delivery system to make it so that no one is left behind and unhoused in a world where there is so much plenty in this city in particular. So I had to do my little soapbox bit, and I'm done with that part. But we are here to celebrate this achievement, and I want to extend a heartfelt thanks to that small army of people I mentioned who helped to get us here. Many of them are here, some are not. There are way too many individual names of folks to go through, and I'm afraid I'll leave somebody out, so I'm going to keep it high level and just thank the organizations for the most part who helped to get us here. And the one that I was thinking about on the way over here that I actually forgot to put on my list here is the San Francisco Planning Department. The women who run, who do all the affordable housing processing, approvals processing, are amazing, and they were above and beyond in every single way to help us get to the point of being able to submit financing applications last year. Like, truly remarkable, and without them, we wouldn't have made it. So thank you to those women who helped so much in the beginning. The team at Swinnerton, I mean, you all see the site. It's pretty organized, and I really think that Swinnerton is one of the best general contractors in the country. I've worked with many general contractors, and few who I think are as together and organized and just really know the business as well as Swinnerton. Our construction manager is Waypoint Consulting, and he's helping to keep the construction train on track with us. The team from B of A, and I don't know if anybody's here because it's hard to see behind masks, but B of A is lending over $100 million of construction financing and investing over $70 million in tax credit equity in this project. And they're a big bank, but that's still a huge investment even for them. And their team has been really great, super flexible, and even really fun to work with through a really stressful process. The Mayor's Office of Housing has been a great partner in every way. And there are a couple of people who really helped move this project forward who are no longer there, and we miss them. But we're looking forward to working with the new project manager and construction manager from MoCG. Thank you to CalHFA, the California Housing Finance Agency. They're our permanent lender, and they are the issuer of the bonds. And frankly, they were critical and key to. They were like the final piece to putting this project, to putting the financing together to make this happen. So we're really grateful to them. The attorneys don't ever get enough credit, I think, because you would not believe the amount of documents that have to get negotiated and executed to do a project like this. And if it were a pile of paper, it would probably be this high. But the city attorney's office was great. Buchalter represented Bank of America. They were great. Govin Barchet, who represents so many nonprofit housing developers, represented the partnership, and they are amazing. And Orrick, Harrington, and Sutcliffe are the bond counsel on behalf of CalHFA. And last but not least, the title and escrow officers, who are so unsung in all of these processes. They never get thanked. I want to thank Old Republic Title for getting this deal closed when everybody was in their living rooms or bedrooms. So it's pretty amazing. This work requires so much dedication, and it's really, when it comes right down to it, it's a labor of love, because there are a lot of people doing this, especially in the nonprofit world, who could go out and get jobs at the private sector and make a lot more money. But people do it because they're down with the cause. They want to get people housed, and the folks at TNDC are just amazing, remarkable partners, and I really want to just honor them for the work that they do every day and for all they give. So thanks a lot.
Charmaine Curtis is an amazing developer and an amazing person. Thanks, Charmaine. Please join me in welcoming Lori Dunn Gayan from Swinnerton.
Good morning. My name is Lori Dungayan. I am the Vice President and Division Manager for Swinnerton Builders here in the Bay Area, overseeing all of our ground-up construction projects. I will tell you that today is certainly a special day because I don't have my steel-toe boots on today, which is very unusual, but trust me, they are in the trunk of my car because I believe in being ready at all times. On this amazing project, Swinnerton is very, very grateful and thankful to be partnering with Curtis Development, TNDC, and Perry Architects. We are really excited to be bringing this affordable housing project to San Francisco. We recognize that housing in San Francisco is a significant issue, and I'm really proud of the fact that over the last 10 years, Swinnerton has delivered over 5,000 units, which is just amazing. We really consider ourselves a community builder. We were founded in 1888 here in the city of San Francisco, and we truly believe it is part of our core values that when we go to build in a neighborhood, we want to leave that neighborhood better than we found it. That is super, super important to us. One other amazing thing about this project is that we're really looking forward to working with some of our small and local businesses. So Bruce Duran, I saw earlier, so looking forward to working with Duran. We're working with them on a couple other projects now. So that's awesome. Michael Spencer, we're going to be working with Spencer Masonry. We've done a couple projects with them as well. And then Tana Harris. We're super excited, Tana, to be working with you on this one. We know this is a significant contract, and we're going to do everything we can to support during this process. So thank you to our small and local businesses. In closing, on behalf of Swinnerton Builders, you have our commitment that we're going to be a good community partner on this project. And we look forward to delivering this much needed affordable housing project to the city of San Francisco. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lori. We will conclude now, and I just want to offer a few reflections. TNDC and Citizens Housing came together, I think it was in 2008, to undertake a joint venture. We outbid 2 market rate developers to get control of the site. The city, the Mayor's Office of Housing and Community Development at the time had virtually no money, but they had the vision and the understanding to realize how important. Oh, I'm so sorry, Rudy. Hey, man, thank you for forgiving me. Rudy, you're on.
I'm a forgiving guy. Thank you, Don Falk. First off, I want to say thank you, Mayor London Breed, for your leadership during these amazing times, how you stepped with a lot of courage. And as a San Franciscan, to step forward during this pandemic and to make things happen. Respect and salute to you. You know, I'm born and raised in San Francisco, but I'm not only born and raised in San Francisco, I'm born on this block. 4 blocks up, my family came from the Philippines in the 60s. This neighborhood right here has a 100-year history of Filipinos. And also, this is actually named after the cultural Filipino zone. So there's buildings, there's families that are thriving here that are Filipinos. I'm one of them. I still live around the corner. I run my organization, United Players, and another organization that's been running for over 50 years, West Bay, in this neighborhood serving our current Filipino families and immigrants. This project right here is a win-win situation in San Francisco. A lot of our families, even from the 70s, was displaced and gentrified. But if you look at now, and Rome wasn't built overnight. If you look now at what our leader, Mayor London Breed, who's bringing affordable housing for our people to be stable, for our people to not be moved, to be placed in a place where not only in San Francisco, but where we was born and raised. To me, that's how you stabilize and you win for San Francisco. We just don't want to have buildings named after Filipinos. We want the Filipino residents to be able to live in a community where we lived and we died. And so my motto is, it takes the hood to say the hood. What does that mean? You ain't got to be from the hood to say the hood. It just means you got to have love in your heart from the people to take care of the people. So all the relationship buildings that we did with TNDC, with my man Mick, who works for Swinnerton, right? All our partners here, from Curtis Development, Charmaine, thank you. The construction workers, the people who built this, don't forget about them, the labor that they put to make this happen. Thank you guys. It takes a joint effort for all of us to do this together. That's all it means. All it means is us coming together, working together. We may not see eye to eye all the time, but what we do is for the betterment of our people, of the community of San Francisco. So thank you to everybody who made this project happen. Over 200 affordable housing. Come on, man. You know it's needed here in San Francisco. And so thank you. I'm a Frisco cat. Just like you a Frisco cat, though, Mayor London Bree. Me and you go back like a hot bowl of grits. That's my sister right there. And so lastly, I just want to say this. There's a lot of shovels here. There's a shovel at the end that's symbolic. That shovel was made from gun buybacks that we've been doing, Mayor. Right, Mayor London Bree, for the last night, getting thousands of guns off the streets. That was made out of guns. That right there planted a tree for Martin Luther King in Atlanta. That planted a tree for Ed Lee when he passed away. We built that mahogany tree. We planted a mahogany tree by City Hall, right? We used that to break ground for that building right here. So this is symbolic. In the Bible it says, swords will be turned into plowshares. I'm very honored, Mick, that you allow us to be a partner in this, to use that shovel to help break ground for over 200 affordable, 100% housing for the community and our people. So thank you once again for having me. Thank you for letting me speak. It wouldn't have been right if you didn't have nobody from this neighborhood up here on a podium speaking. Thank you, Mayor London Bree, for your leadership. Continue to do what you do, because you know we got your back like a backpack. Thank you.
Thank you, Rudy. You are an inspiration, really and truly. And I just want to make a comment. Rudy referenced Mick. Mick, can you raise your hand? There. Mick works for Swinnerton, and we're very proud. At one time was a TNDC resident at the Yosemite Apartments. We're all proud of that. So now, thank you for forgiving me, Rudy. I'll conclude by noting that it was in 2008 that TNDC and citizens got control of the site. The city did not have virtually any money, and so they had the foresight to lend us just enough to acquire the property, and there was no more money in sight. And so for years and years, we struggled to try to find ways to come up with non-city money in order to complete the financing. And during that period of time, the site had originally been zoned for only 80 feet. And because of our work with the city planning department and the elected officials, we were able to rezone it and subdivide it. So this is now actually 2 sites. What's behind us will be 18 stories, and where you all are sitting now is zoned for 30 stories and another 230 units that someday we hope to be able to finance as affordable housing. And so if there is something to learn from Fifth and Howard, it is the power of a whole community working together and of perseverance. So thank you all for being here. We'll see you at the groundbreaking.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ah, yes!